Hey guys, Stephen here from Heresy Academy. In this video we're going to set up our structures. So where we left off with the last video, we can now get rid of these objects because this was just giving you the idea of how the physics system works, physics engine. Turn back on the sky just for now and just grab all of these and drag them out. Get rid of the other objects because we don't need that. The grass fitting sprite, we can now put this back to being, put it back to 50. In this episode, all we're going to really do is build up our structures the way we want them to be. So again, also once you change the size of these, we'll go to the box collider and we'll reset it. Alright, yeah, I forgot about that. Then we'll decrease the Y again because it resets to the whole size of the sprite, which is including all of this bit. I suppose one thing before we jump into anything, we could cut out that problem if we change the image to a multiple image and then apply. Drop down the vision plate thingamajig. As you'll see now, all you can see is the invisible part of the sky sprite. Well, in actual fact, it's not looking at sky sprite, looking at grass sprite. There we go. It says missing sprite. The reason for this, as you can see, all these have got the drop down menu here. The reason it's now missing is because we set it as multiple, but we haven't told it what the images are. So we'll go over to our Sprite Editor, and what we'll do, we'll just do an automatic trim, see where that leaves us. Yeah, that'll do. See, it just cuts off at the top of the grass there. Click on apply, close it off, and everything is back to normal. Apart from the box collider is now following the whole old shape. So once again, we'll reset. There we go. Should be able to see the there we go. See the box collider is now taking the whole shape. Okay, so I'll just set up again, set up some ground, just so we can, what's it called? We can add our structures to it. So it's not too important to make sure we get this part right. We just need to set up a place where our objects can fall to just whilst we set it up. So this will actually do, and let's think about closing these up off a bit. Drop down the inspector and cut off these, make this a bit bigger. So like I said, we're going to use the physics pack from Kenny. So we'll go through now to where should we start? Start with the wood elements. And what you can do as well, I'm going to pick through these and pick which ones to use, but you can go through the sprite sheet and split up the wooden sprite sheet if you wanted to do that. What I'm going to do is try to make sure I don't pick any broken ones for now, because that'll come in handy later on. So I'll just pick this one, get another one of that. Oh, actually, a good idea would be, right, so go to number 19, number 21, and 16. I'll just drop these down to 50 pixels per unit, just so we've got bigger size. Drop the point to no filter, just to see if it clears everything up. And move this one across, that one across, and this one across. Oh no, that one's a broken one. We'll get rid of number 21. Right, this will do for now, I suppose. So get both the 216 ones, and what you can do if you really want is to make sure they have box colliders on. So it automatically sets its shape. So then if you change this later on and you change it to be 25 pixels per unit or 100 or something, and you change the shape of this, it won't automatically change the box collider for you, so you just have to keep resetting to make sure you set the size. That's it. So what you can do as well, these want a rigid body component. So make sure you get rigid body 2D, gravity scale to be 1, and is kinematic to be off. So first off, just click play, you'll see these drop. We did this in the other video just to demonstrate the physics. What we're now looking for is, first of all, for it to actually play. That would be nice help. Okay, well, normally it plays when you click play, and for some reason it's just stopped. Could do without it doing this, to be fair. There we go. So the reason I'm doing this is I just want the Y position, so I just drag this out a little bit. You can see it's 11.5 over 498. So put them to 11.5, and this one 10.7. So actually, so you want to ignore that one actually. So you put these two to minus 11.5. Probably should have done that one as well. And then we'll rotate this one on the Z. So let's just go straight away with 90 and drag it across to somewhere we're happy about. Just nudge it along a bit. So what we'll see now is you see that drop a little bit. And for starters, that is your basic structure. So if you threw a ball at that, that would fall over. We don't want to just leave this as such a primitive structure. We will, let's think now. As a matter of fact, we'll drag this out a little bit there, and then we will grab number 16, number 19, and just duplicate them both, move them along, and then if you click play again, you'll see them drop. They should both land on each other and be fine. You probably want to move this one out a bit so it looks, well, so that it works both ways, and just nudge that one down. And again, you'll see it now squeeze along, fall down. And then just take a note of the positions of these. As you root, so it's 9.39, so we'll say 9.4. If it does move the slightest bit when you, in fact, actually, that could potentially be alright actually. So minus 9.4. We'll click play, and if they do mess up it, we'll edit it, but I think it'll be alright. Yeah, so you see that slightest bit of movement. If you go into the Angry Birds and you pay close attention, you can see most of the structures do actually wobble a little tiny bit as soon as they load. That's just basically making sure its position is fresh. So we've got this basic structure here. So like you'd put your enemy in there or drop some TNT. But what you can do, for instance, now, oh sorry, I'm in the wood one now. This is this the metal? Alright, yeah. So this is the metal. It's not very clear from the glass, although I suppose you could pay attention. So what we'll do is we'll go for that one. So actually, before I carry on, I go into the hierarchy and I'm going to create an empty game object, and I'm going to reset it all to 0. And we're going to call this structure level 1. And then all the elements we've used so far we'll just drag into the first structure. Okay. So now we'll pick, actually that's a good one, let's go for element 20. And you'll see, of course, it's smaller than the rest of them. If that's what you want to do as well, you want to make it smaller, you can do. But just for this, I'm going to, I'll pick another one as well actually. 21 will do. So element 20 and element 21. I'll put these to 50 pixels per unit and point no filter. Just apply these, and then I'll drag them down one by one. Okay, I'll have to test that one out. Let's think, what do we want to do? So this one and this one, we'll duplicate one more time and just drag it along like that, just so we can duplicate this one and that one. But again, for starters, we'll add in box collider 2D because we're using box shapes, so it's fine. Whereas when we put the circles in, we'll use circle colliders and stuff like that. So yeah, we've got a rigid body again, gravity of 1, kinematic is off, and then box collider set around the shape. And this one, we will duplicate and drag it out about there. Press play again, just so you get the position. So you see that one is about to look like it's going to fall off then. So this is minus 6.475. So put it at 6.47. Just to try and keep it now, minus 6.47. Just to try and stop it now from wobbling completely, otherwise you can mess it up the further along you go. And this one, like these pieces, we'll rotate it on the Z by 90 degrees and then find its optimum position in the middle, here or here. Well, if you click play, it'll look alright. Pardon me. You won't need to have it too precise, but again, look at the position of it. It's 3.56 and then 5743, whatever. So, oh, I forgot that now. Minus 5 point something. So just to check again, 3.56, that's one. Minus 3.56. And then what you can do, grab that one, and that one. So grabbing all 4 of these, we'll duplicate and just pull it along here. Yeah, that might cause an issue now. And then on the opposite, same again on the opposite side. So duplicate, just drag it along so it fits nicely there. So you see now I've got like the start of a pyramid structure, and you can keep going on and on and on, but we don't want to do that. What you can do now, make sure all the elements are saved within our structure for level 1. And you can close it off, it doesn't matter how many put in there really, you can choose what style you want. We'll close off our open pieces our open PNGs, and then we'll go back to our prefabs folder here, structure for level 1. So now we'll get rid of that. This will be useful to implement a structure just like that. So this is one way to sort of design your structures and have them all set up. Because like I said, well, I'll give you a demonstration, that's a good idea. Put the physics on, any'll do really, just a circle, yeah. Drop that in, we'll add in circle collider this time, and add in rigid body. Gravity scale 1 in kinematic and that. It doesn't have to be so precise. I'll be deleting it again in a minute because we want to set up a couple more structures. But if you just grab it and you're like, dink. Or imagine you just fired it and you knocked out this one, and you knocked this one, etc. So you can cause a crumble effect because that's how the physics works. And obviously, just turn it off and it's gone back to normal. So get rid of that. Now let's say, so close the PNGs again. So what we want to do now is we want to work on some other structures. So we'll zoom back in. And let's say we want to now go into here. Let's think now. So element 19s. That's another one. Yeah, so the wood 19s. We're just going to move these over here. Let's think. See now as well, if you drop, they'll all just sort of drop. These two will fall off the edge, but they'll just drop down onto each other and settle themselves or knock themselves over, whichever. It's decent enough, you know. So you could have a structure like that if you really wanted. This is just going to be messing around now to create some structures. So now we want to go, get rid of the wood, go for the metal ones. So metal 20, metal 20, and metal 20. Get rid of them 3. When I say get rid of, I don't mean delete, I'm just moving them out of the way for now. And these 4, I'll do it again. So now I'm just control clicking them inside the scene. This works, move them out there. Forget it's fine. So let's think about how we want our structures. Let's say we're to now put in some triangles perhaps. Let's think. In fact no, I'll pick these ones for now. So put this one back to 0 and we'll drag it down. Let's drop it over here somewhere. That will hold down control to pull it along. Obviously you can't exactly see the 2 box colliders, but well, I mean you can now, you select both, but you can see you've got a bit of movement there. So just, you can try and pull it down and be precise, but that's fine. Be fine as it is. Rather than duplicating again and again, now I've got some objects to mess around with. I can set it up so keep doing this now. Just so I've got like 3 pieces here. And then go for one of these. Awesome. So I'll do for these now. We'll move this over here. What you will need to do, because we're building it here and we save it as a prefab, the whole element's position will be obviously 0, 0, 0. So then the relative position of this wooden piece is this plus this. So everything in here plus the prefab position, the empty game object's position, will be the final position when you drag it in. So what you will need to do is obviously build it up, bring it into your scene. Once you build up your area, so you want to position it there, and then build some scenery around it, and then maybe you want to move some pieces around. Every time you do that, make sure you always apply it so it changes the prefab again. But what we'll be doing, because we're making, maybe we'll make 3 structures and I'll do the rest off camera or something. What we'll do is we'll change the name of this to be like level 2, then drag it again. So then you have 2 different structures saved. Then do some more edits and then make it structure 3, then drag it in, sort of thing. What we don't need to do at the moment is we don't need to set up any specific lines of code or health or hit points or anything. We'll do that, and let's think. This should be part 4, so we'll do part 5 where we set up the slingshot. So once we set up the slingshot, we'll also set up at the relative position where the enemy structures will go. Over time, as we develop other levels as well, I think I showed you in the last one, you could set up so your slingshot starts up here, and you can have structures here and some structures up here. You know, change it around a bit. We'll have it everything here and have like structures going up here, a bit of a gap, and structures up there. So have it so the trick is if you can drop them on, like hit these ones off first, knock enough stuff off, it'll knock these pieces over, which should fall, and knock these pieces. You know, you can do your own sort of puzzles. So I'll show you how to set that up. So we'll start looking into that properly with the slingshot video, which will be the next video, where we'll start off with putting it in this corner, and then between this video and the next video I'll have a look for different scenery assets, for looking at perhaps having buildings or anything really to just make it look like there's a reason why the what's it called, the slingshot will be up here. If you've ever looked at Angry Birds, like I assume you've played it, but obviously some people wouldn't have played it yet, you will see sometimes the slingshot is just on like a platform, just there. That's it. That's what they've done, and it looks fine. It's not completely required to make it all make sense. But anyway, back to this then. So I will now pick this one. Come on. Pick this one and make it completely glass. I'll just drop this on top like that. So again though, we will have to get the actual position, so we click play and let them fall, but we'll do that when we're done, so we don't have to like have everything fall and knocking it over. Let's say we want to bridge that across there. Can we do it? We can, but we'll have to stop doing the clip control. So about there perhaps, does that work? It's close, so let's just drag this one unit across just so we're happy with it. It doesn't have to be super precise. But yeah, so then you could obviously have like an enemy sat on top of TNT in here, and if you can knock through these and set off the TNT, boom, or do a drop attack. So like the bluebirds would do better against glass. So obviously if you fired them up right and then around here activated it, so the 3 had dropped down, you probably smash that, but then maybe you get one hit in there and one smashing that, or hitting it and bouncing down and hitting the TNT and going boom. You know, it's all about how you position your aim and stuff like that. But I've not actually grabbed any TNT stuff yet. I didn't think. We have got the explosive elements, but I suppose we could use these as placeholders for now. Okay, we'll use this. We'll use this one as our explosive element for now. Oh, keep forgetting I've changed the pixels per unit. Oops. So I'll just put this back to 50. Again, this isn't just something the way it's being built on my computer. If you wanted to keep everything at 100 pixels per unit, if you were making it a bit smaller, because in theory, like I've made these bigger, and I think I made that bigger. So technically, making everything smaller will still fit. Technically. So we'll just drag this, and we'll set up coding as well for explosive elements later on, just so we can. Okay, we'll get the position for that. So as well, any new elements we add or any new pieces will be created outside the prefab, so make sure we drop them in, just so when we save it, it works. Let's give an example for setting up the enemy as well, because I'd imagine you want to include the enemy. You can use these aliens here, so let's say you want to go for that. Oh, it's green like the pig, so probably didn't like the pink alien there. Okay, I'll drop this down to 50. Point filter and apply. Then I'll drop this one in. I'll drop it so it sits on it somehow. And another point to add, it would be a good idea if we add the box. Add the rigid body, but then be careful to only put box collider on the box and a circle collider and a circle collider on the circle alien thing. And putting all these on is basically a requirement to fully utilize obviously the collision system and the rigid body for all of the what's it called now? All this stuff, you know, the physics is what it's called, physics. Let's think, what could we do next? I want to start utilizing these again. So let's say now, let's just grab these. So this is just a rough idea of a random structure. It doesn't have to make perfect peachy sense. For some reason these aren't accepting the same position. Okay. Obviously these are the same size, so they should like the same position. Probably the way I've dragged it. 10.5. Because if you pull this out here and then you start moving it, it'll still move it 1 unit along, regardless of its starting position. So, for example, have a look at the X here. It's 2.94. So I'll just move it by 1 each go. Then I can move it there, and it'll still move it up by 1. So if you accidentally move it and then start trying to get it to fit up nicely, it's not going to. I suspect I've done something similar with these two. I probably moved them a little bit and then well, actually I haven't. I've set them up here. So I just dragged them out of the way and then started pulling them down by one unit and moving around by each unit. So, like I said, it'll still move it just by one each movement. So if it's at 2.9, move by one, it'd be at 3.9. So even if you're dragging things by a unit by holding down the Control or Command on Mac, is it Mac? Yeah, it's Mac. It's not like a snap into grid. There's no predefined exact movement, which I could show you how to set that up if you wanted to. No, so yeah, just drag that down a little bit. 10.2 now. So minus 10.2. What you could do now is obviously you can press play and watch everything fall. So I think what else could do. But what I think would be a good idea, could drop these onto here now. Just to give another idea of the structure. Whilst I'm doing this, sometimes I get quiet once I'm trying to build stuff because I end up concentrating, which is absolutely no good for you guys because you want to know what's happening. So I'm going to delete that one piece there because I've messed up the position a little bit. I'll just grab that one and just duplicate it, move it along like that. That'll do, won't it? Yep, so I'll get rid of that one. So I'll click play, watch what happens, just because you want to see, make sure we get the relative positions and stuff right, make sure nothing falls. And again, it's supposed to click play. I imagine it's going a bit slower because like I'm using this laptop and you're trying to run all the physics engines and everything, so I just imagine this is going to go a bit slow because of that, and that failed completely. Look at it. But at least the physics works. Why did that fail? Is that... Alright, yeah, that's not even touching that, is it? Okay, so just grab these three and just pull along a little bit. Like so it lands on it, and then that should be fine. Right, it squeezes in there, doesn't it? So, might as well just move it over so it lets it fall in. Just tighten it up a little bit. Yeah, that'll do. So again, now what you can do, if you get a quick pen, well, you can just pause the video, actually, can't you? So what I'm going to do, going from top to bottom, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 14 will be the pink alien, and 15 will be the TNT, well, the explosive TNT, yeah. I'm just going to write down real quick the Y positions. I'll call them out as well, just in case you want to keep it going. I'm happy with the X position, so in fact, as a matter of fact, why did I do that? That's a very silly thing to do. Okay, just move back. So just push you out there, just so you know one fits. Okay. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to take the position of these two, the X position first of all. So I'll know the only two that need moving on the X will be these two. That'll be 5.3 and well 5.326. I'll just do 5.3 and 8.5. The reason I'm doing that is just so we can fit an alien between them. And then close it off and press play again, just let it drop. And then, like I said, from the top to the bottom, we'll go starting at 1 for the Y position. So this is minus 3.56, minus 4.8, 4.87, This is the way I do things. Like I'll build something and press play and then edit it and take a quick note of the position. So this one is at minus 3.55, but we already know that that's at 3.56, so we want them both to be at the same position. So somewhere along here we'll do a bit of tweaking so that it works out. 3.56. This one will be 5.67. So then in theory all of these should be 5.67. Okay. And the same for this. Anything here should basically be the same along. So we'll do 7.79. So this one we could do at like 7.8 or something if we wanted. Times that by 3. Then this one, 10.70. So I like 70 because it's rounded up. Well, I mean, not rounded up completely, but rounded up to a 0. That'll be times by 3. And then for the alien and the TNT next. 10.80. So we didn't really put any more aliens in there, but we can sort of mess around with that in a few minutes. Yeah, we can mess around with that in a few minutes. So yeah, so then the TNT will be 12.20. And these two will be 10.70 again. Times up by 2. And then these two will be 11.50. Okay. So as well, if you remember, I checked the X position of these because when I clicked off and back on, it's re-put them to where it was. So let's say now we wanted to, first of all, grab the pink alien, drop that to our structure. Unless you want to do structures without the aliens for now. Grab the round alien here. I'll just sit that in there. And duplicate it. Let's say we want this one to be over here. Duplicate that, let's put it in here, and then I'm going to say duplicate, put it in there, but we know it'll be the same position that ends up. So we'll put those two in there, but we don't want them just to bounce each other and both die at the same time. Although we'll set this up so they won't actually bounce. Let's think what we can quickly put. I'll put very, very thin. These are broken. Oops. Come on now, I'm sure we can do one of these. Yeah, we can put that one in. Now what you want to do as well, put this in, but it's actually pixels per unit still at 100 for it. So if I put in another one later on and I want to make it 50 pixels per unit, this will be enlarged as well. So that's one thing to consider, and also then to consider there is another bigger triangle here anyway. Let's see, that's 140 by 70. This one is 70 by 70, so it actually looks bigger, but it's probably not. But maybe this is the bigger one actually. But yeah, so what we want to do to these aliens is we just want to attach. Just put a rigid body. What happened? Yeah, they just fall, don't we? Okay, so we'll put on our circle colliders first, and then our rigid 2D. Oop. Forgot about that. Make sure we put our collider on here as well. So this one, we'll actually give it a go now with a polygon collider because it's a fairly nice shape, but you can still see it does go a bit crazy. So if you go over to Edit Collider, you can hold down Control and get rid of some points. If you don't like them, like these points in the middle, there's no need for these. It's just offensive. So I'll just drag that to about there. It doesn't have to be too precise in this because you can see the physics engine is forgiving. So Now let's put our rigid body on all 5 of our new shapes. Rigid body, let's see if it works. It doesn't really work, does it? Let's have a get rid of our glass then. Ooh. Alright, just drop the rigid body on these. The reason we're doing this is because we want to get the, there we go, they sit nicely anyway. So that's alien, that's the first alien, so then we want to go 1, 2, well, 1 and 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3, sorry. Then, just write down our quick alien, 1, 2, and 3. The first one's Y position is 6.38, well, minus 6.38 should I say. Then the second one is, well, minus 6.38. So actual alien number 2, 10.82, well, minus 10.82. And the third one is 12.21. The reason, like I said, the reason I'm doing this now is because I'm going to click play, and everything I've just done there has disappeared. You see? So now, it'll be pretty much the same, but we'll start at the top and go all the way across. So this one will be 3.56 minus 3.56. It's the same as that one is minus 3.56 minus 3.56. So this big guy is 4.87. I'm just going to read them out like that, even though they are minus. So please, if you are taking notes, make sure to put a minus for these because we are going below 0 position on the Y. Below 0. It's pretty chilly. That's a bad joke. We'll go for minus 5.67. To be fair, we can select all 4 of these to make it a bit quicker. Minus 5.67. Oh, cancel that. Clicked on the sky, didn't I? Sorry about that. Click all 4. Minus 5.67. Then these 3. Click on all 3. I'll just do the same. Just make it a bit quicker now. Well, as quick as it's going to be. 7.79. Actually, these could. Ooh. So yeah, like I said, pay attention to the fact it's minus as well. These values could be changed slightly if you see they're quite touching, so perhaps adding a tiny bit, or maybe just testing it out completely, maybe it'll work. The next one then will be 10.70, or 10.7, minus 10.7. The first alien, well, let's do TNT first then I guess, is 12.2. So the alien here is 10.8. These two are 10.7, just like the other one. They were 3 over there. And remember these 2 pieces, these will be at 11.5. Oh, not 5.5. Oh, minus 11.5. But also we change the x position, so the x on this one is 5.3, and the x on this one is 8.5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what to add. Now we want to add 5 pink aliens, so we'll just duplicate this now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one will move over here. I'll just click play now. Oh, it might actually go crazy on collisions. Forgot. Hope they don't move. Yeah, it went a bit crazy there. Okay, I'll do that in a minute. Just want to drag this over here. I forgot to take the X position of these. That would be important. Just as you see, it doesn't quite fit in there. Or here. You just pull it along to make it fit, of course. But as you can see, it's going to be pretty tight with these. And again, actually I can see this working. Yeah, no, it works absolutely fine. So you zoom in a bit and just sort of drag it, make sure the colliders won't touch these colliders, which these will actually do pretty fine. So then these first two aliens, change the Y to -6.3. Make sure it's just the two aliens. Keep doing this. -6. What was I doing now? 38. Then one. So this is alien number 2. Alien number 2 was 10.82, so minus 10.82. This one will be, and this one will be minus 12.21. So we'll click play now just to test it, make sure nothing sort of explodes. There we go, I'm happy with that. So what we do here now, again, make sure all of our aliens are picked. See if we can get a better view on this now. No. Okay. So make sure we drag them all, put them into our structure 1. You see there. So what we could probably do, just to tidy this up a bit, call this our grass or our ground. We'll change this around when we actually set up that part of the level. Drag these in, just so it closes it off. You can see all these elements in here. So over here, we'll go and call this structure level 2. Drop back now to our prefabs folder. Drag structure level 2 in. Drag structure level 1 in. Duplicate the grass. Let's just stretch it out. So we get structure level 2. Drag this along here somewhere. As you can now see, we've got two decent looking structures. This looks quite primitive and easy to break through, whereas this looks like it will face quite a challenge. Well, that depends on how you set it up, and we'll go through that in a later video. The one thing I am going to do though with this one is I'm just going to drop 5 enemies, or 1, 2, 3. I forgot, lost count there. 7. Is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 enemies and an explosive. So a good idea to do that would be just to get a duplicate of that, drag it out here, duplicate it and drag it out here. But just take note that prefab objects are blue and the new ones are black. This is handy just so you don't forget to save them properly. Drop it in there somewhere. And what you should do with these now, drag them and go down to structure 1, add them to structure 1 there. Click on structure 1 and click apply. You'll see them now turn blue in the part of the structure. And then you'll have a look for that explosive element. Duplicate, and drag that into here. Then grab it into structure 1. Grab structure 1. Click on apply. What this is doing is saving it now to the prefab, the whole prefab which is in our prefabs folder. So as you can see now, the new prefab has our aliens. But we're not done yet, because if you click play, you'll see these drop. So ignore this structure now. See these drop. But in the game, perhaps when that drops even that distance, it might explode. So that could cause the problem. All we want really though is just two Y positions. So this one we want -7.99. This we don't want to put -8 because that's pushing it down. Just pushing it into that ever so slightly, and we don't want to do that. And shouldn't really have done that. I'll just click play again. Get a Y position for this. This is -12.21. 12.21. So when it comes to the Y position, once you click play, the gravity is going to take its course and pull it down as far as it can. So if you get a position and you decide to round it up a bit so it's at -8, just consider, even though rounding up sounds good, you will be trying to push downwards, and that's just going to cause you a physics problem. Whereas if you were to change it, let's say this one, is 12.21. If we were to put it up to, well, put it up to 12, that wouldn't make too much problem, because when you click play, it'll just drop again. So be always consider that. So let's go to our aliens now. The first 3 aliens, we'll put their position at 7.99, and then the bottom 5 pieces will be the 4 aliens and the explosive, and we'll put their Y at minus 12.21. Just always click play just to check that everything's okay, nothing's going to go boom. I mean, it will once you hit it with your Angry Bird, but once you've done that and you set the Y positions, click on apply. Let's think now. We have run into a bit of time really. It was more to sort of show you a general idea of how to do this. There is another method. I think it's a bit long-winded. I'll consider putting a, well, this method will do. I'll consider putting like a part 2 or a 0.5 version of setting up structures, just to show you how you could do it from, will it work? Yeah, you can do it from sprite sheets. Let's have a look real quick, sorry. Let's have a quick look. No, I haven't got anything set up. Well, actually, preview, no. If you had a, oh, the vectors, okay. If you had a sprite sheet that was basically a structure like this, you could go into that. Let's think. No, it's still one singular object. I was going to say you could get a sprite sheet of someone where get like your artist to draw some structures, and if you bring it in, let's go for this. If you brought it in, for example, and you put it to a multiple, click on apply, and then you go into your sprite editor, you could basically like select each component of the house as close as you could, and then, well, actually no, yeah, it would work. You'd use your vector shortcut or vertices shortcut. Yeah, so what you do is you make it so you can either have it as tight as possible. In fact, I can show you better in the slingshot. What we'll do with the slingshot is we're taking one image and we're going to cut like an arm out of it, and then cut like another piece and make it so like both vertices, both edges are touching. So then you'll use the vertices movement tool and you'll link them together. So it's a better idea to show you that in the slingshot video. Okay, alright. So yeah, that's the basic general idea here for setting up structures. Like I said, I might actually use these 2 structures and just sort of teach you how to make this based off just these 2 levels, because that can still show you how to set up the level select, the world select. What other videos do we need? Sorry, just getting my list. So we've got the introduction, we've got the import, setting up, introduction to physics, setting up the level structure, which is this one. So in the next one we're going to set up the slingshot, and then we'll do the coding, the scripts for the slingshot in the video after that. So then we'll code the physics, code the structure, the physics of the enemy, stuff like that in the video after that. Set up the code and set up and code the score, possible star system. Right, yeah, so we'll actually talk about that a little bit in that video. Set up levels, set up the world, integrate Facebook friends, in-app purchases, Unity ads, audio, and maybe multiplayer. Okay, yeah, that's absolutely fine. So this sort of concludes it for this video. Hope you followed along to see how to make your structures and just save it as one game object, because then you could generate now, you could take the whole of this structure and just dump it on top of that one, or the other way around if you wanted to. And that's basically how, in my opinion, one of the most efficient ways of making loads of different structures for a game like this. Draw out your map however you want, and then build a structure around it, and then save that structure as a prefab. Include that piece of the map if you want to, so you can definitely make sure it always works. I don't know. I'd have to basically wait for your feedback on this video, see if you guys have questions, and then I'll consider putting like a 0.5 version of this video. So if this is part 4, I'll do a part 4.5, going into more information, answering questions that you've got, and showing you other structures, and also integrating other game objects. For example, Angry Birds 2, and I think in Angry Birds 1 as well, you can sometimes have a pole sticking out or something attached to a light or some weird chimney things, balloons, stuff like that. Basically adding other objects and also adding pieces of scenery into our structures and building structures around it and how to do that. I could show you stuff like that if that was what you're interested in. So I'll continue with the series. So the next one will be setting up the slingshot and coding and stuff like that. I'll carry on to my schedule. But if you do want to see a bit more of setting up structures, integrating it properly with the scene and stuff like that, just drop some comments and, well, yeah, I'll get working on a 4.5. If I do finish the series before anyone like comments and stuff, I'll get working toward like the next series and stuff. Yeah, the series of videos, because I think there's plenty of information in this series and this set of videos for everyone to follow along and understand concepts and stuff that we need to do to make this whole game. I think, yeah. So just if there's anything I miss out, anything extra you want to know, if you don't feel like I've explained something enough, just let me know. Drop a comment. I'll either directly get in touch with you to try and explain the issue, or I'll like I said, release a 4.5 video. So yeah, that's it for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you're liking the series so far, there is a breakout game in Unity that's finished now. Well, the series is finished enough. There are other aspects that could be asked for. So go ahead and check out that series. I'll probably put an annotation here if I remember. If not, jump over to the channel. It'll be in the playlists. And yeah, so subscribe to see the latest videos. Thumbs up to the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.